Welcome to Behind the Model, a show diving into the virtual world and exploring its stories with the VTubers who lead the way. You might be thinking I've just pulled a really sick gacha character with a person right next to me. You are slightly mistaken there, but maybe only just slightly. Uni does brand herself as a Genshin Impact streamer, but there's more to her than just the Hoyoverse franchise, and yes, we're including the visuals in that. Juggling facecam streaming and VTubing, as well as many of the other creative pursuits, her perspective on things differs from just wanting to be the biggest. And with all that in mind, Uni, welcome to Behind the Model.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I am Yuni, or it's Yuni, formerly known as. And I am a 5D streamer. I'm actually 9D now. I've been adding more to the Ds.
How? I get the 5D bit, like 2D plus 3D, but where does the 4D come in?
Oh, it's because I have different models.
Oh,
I have the
okay.
3D face, then I have this 2D model, and then I've also got like another 2D chibi model and another chibi model because I kind of got a bit obsessed with buying more models.
Wow, that is the most VTuber thing that has ever been said. Like,
I know.
more art of my character? Yes, please.
Oh, heck yeah.
And all about this design, huh? Like, I mean, it does say like right in front on your Twitter, and I remember the first time we spoke at PAX just this weekend gone by at the time of recording, that Genshin is kind of your jam. And how did that kind of play into your character design when you became a VTuber?
Well, when I first started with the VTuber model, like all great VTubers, I had no idea what I wanted to be. I had no idea about like my ideas or plans or anything. So I gave a picture of my own selfie to the artist that I liked, and then she drew me, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But then I was like, if I can be anyone in the world, because in 2D world, I can literally be anyone and everything. I was like, what do I want to be? And so there is Genshin, and the character designs are really nice. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take bits and pieces from different characters that I like and incorporate it into my design. I will say it though, as a disclaimer, I originally had this hat to begin with. It is my OG hat. I am not Mona. Exclamation mark, not Mona when you go into my chat. And then it will tell you that this is my OG hat that I had originally. And so the reason why Mona is broke in Genshin is because she pays me royalties. Okay. I'm the one that makes her broke because she's borrowing my hat design. Yeah, that's right.
Those royalties go very far. Like very far with the amount of fan art and stuff.
That's right. I'm the OG, totally not the other way around.
Like, it's funny that you mentioned that because obviously Genshin Impact designs are all like designs that can kind of be like, oh my god, you look like someone from Genshin Impact. They kind of like raise eyebrows a little bit or like get a little bit of like scorn or ire. Does that like play in mind for you?
Well, when I first started, like, I didn't really think too much of it because I just like art. And obviously in like the whole, VTuber world and even in the art community, like copying something outright is absolute no-no. So we incorporated like parts of the design, but we didn't copy it outright. However, like afterwards when I had my model, that's when I started to notice, because I didn't really think about like how other people would perceive my model. It was mainly what I wanted and like what I want my 2D, magical girl to be. And then so I did have people coming in and be like, oh, it's a Mona. And it did get to me at some times because I'm like, well, no, because if you really look at it, I'm more Lisa than Mona. I mean, get your facts right.
Get your law straight.
I know, right? Like, come on, if you're gonna accuse me of something, at least accuse it properly. But then like afterwards, I was like, okay, I can take it, negatively and completely change my design because I don't want to be like known as Mona or like be known as copying a character. Or I can put my own spin to it and be like, yo, you know what? I'm the OG, Mona's copying me, and it gets a conversation starter. And so I guess from that, it was like, well, yes, I did get some, just new people coming to the community. Some can react a little bit more negatively to it because like, ooh, you're Mona, I don't like Mona. But then it also gives me that conversation starter. And at the end of the day, it's like, it's my stream, my community. And I do what's right by me and my community. And if people are going to react really negatively and they're going to hassle me about my character design, then I'll be like, you know what? Ban.
You don't need that.
I have no chill. Goodbye.
It's always interesting talking about like the character design debate because like, you know, technically there is infinite amount of character designs, but you know, sometimes you just really want to be the characters that you like. I say that as generic anime boy with white hair number God knows what. So, you know, sometimes you just want to look like your main in a video game, and that's totally cool.
You can be whatever you want to be, just do it. As long as obviously you're not like copying out, right? And then if, for example, like say like for my top, people don't actually notice it, but it's actually the jean top from her like her skin, like her summer gray skin. And so people don't really notice it, but it is from that design. So I always like, if people go, oh, your character's really pretty, like I would say it, like, you know, it's inspired by Jean. And so it's not like I'm saying, oh, I just, you know, created this design out of my ass. Am I allowed to say that?
Conjured it out of thin air, and absolutely. Swearing's fine. As an Australian, it would be improper of me to not be able to swear on this show.
Thank God.
I think that's enough about the model talk and like the Genshin talk. I'd like to talk about your other creative pursuits outside of streaming, because before you got into streaming, I feel like we can go in a little bit of chronological order here. You were doing other things like creatively and in content creation through cosplay and some other things. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, yeah, actually, so I started cosplaying in 2014, and when I started cosplaying, it was actually more not to do with the content creation space, but more to do with the fact that like, oh my God, I'm getting old. How am I gonna make friends? Because back then I had like a long-term relationship, and so like I feel like once you're in a long-term relationship, you don't, well, at least for me, I didn't really try to make friends out of my original circle. And then people get older, like obviously they find full-time jobs, or they'll be studying and they'll be doing things that are differently to you. And here I am, just like a 18, 19-year-old person that's like, I like anime. I don't know what else to do. And so like with cosplaying, it was an outlet that I always saw people do it, but then never really had like the guts to do it when I was younger. And so once I was a little bit older, I'm like, you know what? I wanna be that magical girl. And it was really cool because then you'd be able to not only dress up as a character that you like, but you also find like-minded people. And with that, it just kind of snowballs into like this whole world of content creation, because you don't dress up, like spend 2 hours getting all dressed up for nothing, right? Other than just meeting people. You want to get some nice pictures and you want to make the memories last. And so from there, I think that's where the content creation space came in. I didn't start off thinking, oh, I'm going to be a cosplayer, or like, you know, to do anything other than just dressing up with it. But then later on, because I wanted to keep those memories, I started to do like, you know, photo shoots with people. We organized to go conventions, go to like trips, and just overall just like taking really nice pictures while you're in like a cosplay. It sounds really vain, but like for me, I just want it to look pretty and cool. And then like when I'm in my 80s, I'll be like, huh, once I looked good.
You'll have like all the like framed prints on the wall instead of it being like the family portrait. It's just like, look at all these cosplay photos. Here's when I cosplayed 2B.
Like one back in my day, I kind of looked alright. So like that's how the whole cosplay started. But then it's kind of crazy thinking back, like because of that, then it allowed me to like find those like-minded people, to then think about like content creation. Like, you know, back then it was the YouTube videos. It wasn't really Twitch from like my friendship group. So it was like making YouTube videos. I did a bit of like, you know, makeup tutorials and stuff, and that was really fun. But I never really thought about like making a career out of it, because perhaps it's like, because I feel like I'm a little bit older than like the current streamers or like Twitch people. But like back in my day, when you go like after high school, you go to university, and then after university you graduate, and then you find a full-time job, and then you find yourself a husband, and then you pump out some kids, and boom, your life is like good. And that's like,
and then you retire, and then you die.
And that's
life.
Then you die, and that's it, like no more. And that was like the career path or life path that like I was always told. So thinking about like content creation, even just cosplaying back then was like, whoa, I'm a bit weird, but I like being this weird. So I never thought about like being a content creator until later on when you really think about it. It's like you don't have to follow that traditional life path. There are many different paths that you can take, and you just do what you like because, YOLO.
Mm.
Like legit, you only live
Mm.
once, so why not VTube when you can? Why
Yeah.
not be a content creator when you can? Why not add some joy into this world when you can?
Mm. How important was having that hobby for you on like a personal, physical, mental level while you're trying to pursue the kind of set life path, but having this kind of outlet as like a distraction or somewhere to express yourself?
That's actually a really good question. Now that I really like think about it, it made me a lot more confident in myself, and also it opened up so much opportunities because I made friends with people that if I never got into cosplay, I would have never like said hi to them. I could walk past the street and see these people and I'll never like get to meet them, get to know their story. So through cosplay, I met like so many people. And I think this is something that I used to talk about like with my friends, like, whoa, I can't believe like I met you. And then now thinking back, it's like, wow, I'm really glad I did it because you meet people that are, professionals. I've met lawyers, I've met like doctors, I've met all those people that you wouldn't think they'd be into anime or cosplay or photography, but it's also their hobby that they like. And through cosplay and in that content space, it just made me, how would I say it, more happier with my life, I would think. Because, like, yeah, working full time is great. You have like your colleagues that can be friends, but then to have friends that you actually have something in common with, like a hobby, is very different. And through cosplay, not only did I got a bit more confident in front of the camera, like, taking other people taking photos of me. Okay, this is completely derailing, but I met my first photographer friend when he DM'd me on Facebook. He's like, hey, you want to do some photo shoots? And I was like, that's a bit sus. But I went there. And the first photo that he took, he was like, ew. Told me that didn't look good. And I was like, what the hell? But like from then, I was able to, get better pictures and learn how to pose and be confident with myself and my body. And then through like meeting all these friends, I traveled. I never thought I'd be able to like travel even to like Sydney or to like Adelaide, even just interstate. Like coming from my family background, again, this might be derailing it, but like growing up as a single parent household, it was like struggle town. And so I never thought I'd be able to do all those things because traveling is just so expensive. It's like completely out of, the whole like how my life was back then. But because of cosplay, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make my way there. I'm gonna like make my money to join my friends to have fun because once again, YOLO.
Yeah.
So it really did change me, and I'm really glad it did. I kind of stopped cosplaying now, but it's something I can look back into and like, wow, I actually had a really awesome like childhood or like a really awesome like 20s. Like that's awesome. It's so cool. Can't believe I did that.
Is there any like one memory that sticks out among the rest about your cosplaying time?
Yes. The first big cosplay that I did was with Love Life. So we had this game called Love Life. It is a gacha game actually, but also like one of those tap finger rhythm games.
Yep.
And they had like correct me if I'm wrong, 7 or 9 girls in there or something. And I got invited into a cosplay group to like be one of the characters, right? And through that, I met my high school friend who like she and I were in the same high school, same classes and everything, but we never interacted until that group. And we're like, I know you. And then she's like, I know you too. And so that was just like literally small world. But that like group took me to like Sydney, and then we actually met my first ever celebrity like that I've met. Her name's Reika, and she's one of the like really top like old school Japanese cosplayers, and she was coming down, or they were coming down as a special guest, and they really love Life. And then so they took a photo with us, and that was like Oh my god, like to me, having just started cosplay, meeting a cosplay celebrity, I was like so like, whoa.
Mm.
It's so, so cool. And on top of it, we were the first Love Life group in Australia. Afterwards, there were many other girl groups, but we were the OGs. Like, that was
Mm.
so cool. Like, yeah,
Mm.
that was one of my most awesome memories, I'd say.
How many of like your cosplay friends and like kind of the connections that you made through cosplay followed you to VTubing or streaming? Because that pipeline is pretty strong.
Like, right now, I would say so that it is strong with like the whole content space being a bit more diverse. But for me, because I started in 2014 and I kind of stopped like at 2018-ish. So my cosplay friends, they don't actually go into VTubing or even Twitch. I don't know, maybe it's me, or like it could just be like my age group. Ugh, so boomer. But like I feel like a lot of my friends don't actually use Twitch or like is part of the live streaming space. And a lot of those that are a lot younger. So I guess for like based on my experience, none of my cosplay friends actually like gone into VTubing. Like not the ones that I specifically cosplay. There are some that I know, but like they're not within my circle that
Yeah.
are doing like streaming or VTubing. But like for my ones, I think they're just like, I feel like they've all grown up. They've all grown into an adult. I still haven't got my adult growth spurt yet.
You haven't got like the adult license yet, you know. It's like the pen license.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not growing up yet.
Not yet.
If like none of like that group kind of fell down the rabbit hole of streaming and you took like your leave from cosplay in 2018, how did you find your way into this method of content creation then?
Actually, good question. I think it was like, cause after my cosplay friends, I actually went into like gaming because I'm a very shy person. If people don't talk to me, I actually find it really hard to talk to them and make friends. And that's why I got into cosplay. And so then I started to like play online games, and through a game called Overwatch, which I used to be very good at. I met like my online friends there, and because they were a little bit younger, they're the ones who like, you know, watch Twitch and they would talk about it. And I didn't really like think too much of it, but it was always in the back of my mind that yes, there is this Twitch platform, there's live streaming, there's content creation. And then 2020 happened. And when
Yes.
that happened, oh, that a lot of my gaming friends got into like the Twitch space. So I feel like when you game, you would watch esports, and then esports naturally like kind of drags you into like Twitch or live streaming because you watch their live streams, right, of the competitions and stuff, and then you start to know the like the internet personalities from, you know, Twitch, and from there that's you meet streamers. And so I was just like watching from the outside, like, hey, that's kind of cool. They're streaming, but it still didn't really get to me until it was on YouTube where they they had all these stupid ads going, passive income. Like, you should make your own passive income. And I was like, whoa.
I remember all of these ads going around. Like, yeah.
Like, you should make passive income. Make your hobby to your passive income. And I was like, oh my God. Income. Money. I like money. Let me just put my hard eyes. Money. So I was like, okay, like, what can I do? And then I saw my friends do Twitch, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. But my goal was to like go on Twitch, record my videos, and then chuck it on YouTube. I honestly didn't think anyone was gonna watch my streams or anything, because like I said, I'm really shy. Like in a group setting when it comes to, you know, Overwatch gaming and all that, if anyone talks, I don't talk. And then like I'll have these moments where it's like in my head I'm like responding back to them, but then like when I actually have to respond, I get really tongue-tied.
The words don't come out. Like it's like your head is like, I've just can I transmit this by telekinesis? Thank you.
I know, right? I've had a conversation with you, but I'm sorry you can't hear it, but I can't say it. And so I'm like one of those people, so I was kind of nervous thinking, oh my God, on Twitch, like how am I gonna hold a conversation? I have so much to say, but then I don't know how to like interject myself into when people have conversations. I feel like I'm a bit
Mm.
socially awkward. And so that's why working for me works, because it's like working face uni is different from like social uni.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like that's when I was like, you know what have I got to lose? Like if nobody watches me, nobody watches me. Like it doesn't matter. I was more for that passive income.
Did you really think that like going into streaming would like get you the passive income that you so desired?
Yes. Yes, I was just like, I'm a very epic gamer. Okay, I have my epic moments. I'm just gonna chuck those epic highlights into YouTube, and boom, YouTube gonna make me millions of dollars. Cause I think like years ago, not now, not in 2020, but years ago, YouTube was pretty good for making money. Like it's like the views per dollar or something was a lot better than now. So people were able to make the passive income, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Like that would actually mean I had to make videos, and that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, like, you know, I just want the money. I don't want to do any of the work for it. I just want the money.
Right? Can I just be funny and cool, and then people just throw money at me? Let's go, passive income.
It's funny that you bring it up because like a lot of people like nowadays you hear like the whole like, and it's true, is like, don't go into streaming if you want to make money. Don't go into streaming if you want. Don't go into content creation if you want to make money. Like, you know.
Oh yeah.
But it's very funny that now, like, you know, you've got this, like, streaming for you is a hobby. And, like, maybe it makes a little bit of money on the side. But it's very funny that you kind of went into it, like, the whole thing of, like, oh my god, I'm finally going to be, like, a billionaire. I'm going to be rich.
It's so true. Because, like, people think, well, like, with Twitch, there are... From my experiences, like I've seen how people can make a lot of money, but also remember the money that you make on Twitch, tax. That it has to get taxed. And then for those that like don't think about that, like it's very difficult because you make a lot, but then you owe a lot of money. And then especially for like the younger streamers, they don't really know all that. And that's where it becomes really like hard for them to make it sustainable, because they'll be spending all this money, they'll be making this money, but then they barely break even. And then on top of it, oh my god, now you have to pay tax, you have to pay all these fees, and you're just like, ah! Whereas for me, I feel like because I do work full time, it's like I can keep it as a hobby. I don't need the money coming from Twitch. If I make money, awesome. But like if I don't, then like at least it's, to me, it's like, I tried. I tried to scam. I couldn't scam. That's okay.
Like, we've talked about like around your age a little bit and like being an older presence on the internet. What do you kind of see younger VTubers or like younger people in the community falling into that is something that you only really have gotten through age?
Ooh, like falling into as in for the VTubing side of things?
I think like falling into like traps and like just not having like the knowledge and that kind of thing. Or the wisdom.
With VTubing, people not wanting to debut unless they have like the top tier model, unless they have all the emotes ready to go, unless they have like the state of the art like sound system, like the mics, the lighting, the camera, everything has to be perfect. So they end up spending like tens of thousands of dollars, and then they debut, and it's like they haven't actually streamed before, so it's hard for them to keep an audience. And then once that hype goes down, they might see like the numbers dwindle, and then once that happens, they don't know how to deal with that rejection or that setback, and they just stop streaming. And I've seen like it happen like on Twitter. There's a lot where people just, they're so scared to stream because they're like, they don't have everything, you know, the state of the art. And for me, as someone that's perhaps, it could be my age, or could be that I started off as a face cam streamer, I didn't feel that much of a pressure, because when I face cam stream, I didn't have a mic. I was using my iPhone earphones. I have a picture that I can give to you, or even like a clip.
Oh my
where
god.
Like that was both my headphones and my mic, and my chat couldn't hear me, so I taped the mic onto my nose.
Yep.
And so that's when my chat could hear me. And then for my camera, I was using my phone, like my old Huawei phone. And I somehow got like the phone capture display thingy to go into my like OBS. It was so cool, state of the art. And that was like my stream. And I streamed Black Desert Mobile. So like the whole like being really scuffed like I was okay with that.
Yep.
And I didn't really feel like I had that much of a pressure when I went into VTubing, because I was like, look, my community seemed the worst. How bad can it be?
Yeah.
I only started with like a very basic model. I only had half a body, which I kept like showing to my community. I was like, I'm missing legs. And like for me, that was fun, because it's like a journey that, you know, you and your community can take. Whereas nowadays, I feel like with a lot of the younger audience, they see all these famous VTubers, because there's a lot now. And all these famous VTubers, they have all these amazing things, all these awesome assets, all those like, you know, all these awesome movements with the characters or the VTubers, and everything costs so much money because it is a lot of effort and time. And so all these younger, like, you know, VTubers, they fall in that trap of just spending too much and not even knowing what they want to do. Like, some of them don't even like playing games, but they play it because they think that's what VTubers should do. But it's like, if you're not going to enjoy something, if you're fretting over or like stressing over something, when you stream, your community is going to know that and they're going to feel that. And then it's hard for like someone to, you know, enjoy a stream if all they see is you stressing out. So I think like maybe it's just my age, maybe because I was really lucky with my community that they are a little bit older as well, that they like the scuffness because it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel like the younger VTubers, or like aspiring VTubers, just go for it. As long as, even if it's like, you know, not a movable like 2D model, even if it's just like a PNG, that's VTubing too. As long as it's artwork that you like, that represents you, that's VTubing. Like, that's what I think VTubing is.
I know that streaming is a hobby for you, but what was that definitive moment where you were like, I'm willing to put a little bit more money in this. I'm willing to put a little bit more time and investment into it?
I feel like after the whole scuffness, having fun, you know, with my headphones, my community may not notice, but I absolutely hated all the technical difficulties that I had, because it felt like every time I stream, my technical difficulties would take away from what I can offer to my community. And like I said, like, you know, if you're stressed out, your community can notice that too. And I didn't want to put them in that situation where, oh my God, hey guys, I'm starting a stream and something's not working and this is going wrong and that's going wrong. And then I'm in like a bad mood. And so once I saw a bit of money coming in from Twitch, I was like, hey, I'm going to invest back into my stream, both for myself and for my community. So the first thing that I ever got was actually my PC. I used to be a laptop gamer. I thought laptops were like, yeah. I thought laptops are like the best thing ever. You don't have to buy a separate monitor. You don't have to buy a separate keyboard. All those cost money, right? And like I said, coming from a single family, like single parent household, that's money I don't want to waste. But then when I stream and my laptop crashed on Fall Guys like 3 times, giving me the blue screen of death, I'm like, you know what? I need to invest back into this, even if it's not for like, you know, long-term streaming, just for the ease of for myself. And then if I were to stream for my community, I think I need to get a desktop. And so I think that was probably 3 months into streaming. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try and be a bit more professional. Just a little bit more. It's been almost 3 years, or just over 3 years. I'm still not professional. But I try.
You tried. And that's what matters. And like you mentioned that you did like the face cam stuff as well at the start, and you did the VTubing. You're still kind of like intimate between the two. Like one scroll through your Twitter feed is like you're definitely not scared of like just posting it out there and like showing like all these like, you know, nice photos of you. Like, to be frank. What? Like,
boom, my face.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, what do you mean you're not just a 2D avatar all the time? But what is it like juggling facecam streaming and VTubing side by side, and the kind of difficulties that come with juggling audiences and expectations that attach to that?
I think with like, because when I started VTubing, like I started face camming first, and that was like a year into it. Then I saw VTubing and I was like, oh, that's so cool. I wanted to get into that. And I'm the type of person that obsess over something. Like as soon as I really get into something, I like fully like commit to that. and then I stopped once I like, lose interest. So I was really interested in VTubing. So for at least like a good 6 months, I was just a straight VTuber. And then after I stopped, because it wasn't that I lost interest in VTubing, but it was more just like, oh, but what if like people forget my face? So I'm like,
It's
you know
like the
what,
opposite problem that like most VTubers have, where it's like, what if they discover my face? And you're like, no, what if they forget me?
oh my god, if they forget me. It's like when I go face cam streaming, like I put makeup on, like I dress nicely than I normally would. And it's like for me as well, I feel like it's like a self-care routine I had every day because of COVID, not being able to go out. That face cam was like, hey, I can still take good care of myself, like even going through a pandemic and stuff. And then after like VTubing, I was like, oh no, I'm always in my PJs. I'm like always in like Udi or something, and I'm like, ew, that's nasty. I need a shower. I need to like look okay. And I'm like, what if my community forgets my face? But then to juggle it, like, I think for me, because I started, although that whole passive income was one thing, I really just had fun playing games. So I didn't really think about like my personal branding or like who I was as like Yuni, the streamer. Like, what am I? Other than, yeah, I play a lot of Genshin, but then like I actually play more MMORPGs. I'm not an RPG gamer. So I had like a whole identity crisis. And that's why I feel like I needed to go back to face camming because like that's me, like that's my face, that's something I can recognize. But then to my community, it was like a whole like, whoa, who is this? Because rarely you have people that are there with you from the start of streaming until like many years later. Yes, you do get some that will stay with you, but they may not stay with like every single time that you stream because obviously they have their own lives as well.
Yep.
And so it becomes a shock when obviously the new people won't care because they don't know who you were like a month ago. But the old people that come back were like, whoa, you're 3D? And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, I was here when you were a VTuber. They're like, what happened to you? And I was like, oh shit. For me, I'm like, oh my god, I didn't actually think about like branding myself as either just a VTuber or just a face cammer. And some people may not like watching, you know, face cam streamers because they may also have their own social anxiety or like just anxiety to see someone. So it's easier to like watch a VTuber because you have that disconnect. It's just an anime character having fun on screen. Whereas like it can be a bit intimidating when I don't know, I get it too when I watch like streamers and some streamers like really into talking the chat, like talking to the chat, and I go and I'm like, oh, it looks like they're looking at me. That's scary. So it's like it really depends, you know, on them. But yeah, I feel like it was just I even now I think like, am I a VTuber or like am I a face cam streamer? Like what am I? And at the end of the day, like I do what I like, but I think with the struggles that I had with the community not realizing who I was, or like some people won't care. They're just like, I was here when you're, you know, VTuber, now you're face camera. It's okay. You're still you, right? But then there are those that will only watch VTubers, and then as soon as you're a face camera, like, ew, gross, 3D, and they'll just leave. Or I also get the ones that are just like, ew, why are you VTubing? I want to see your pretty face, and I'm just like, ew. So like, it's one of those like. I still find it hard to balance. Like, even now, whenever I stream, I'm like, do I want to be on cam or like, do I want VTubing? And I think it's just that balance. And to balance it, I do feel like if I announce it to my community that you either get face cam or you either get like, you know, VTubing, it's up to you. Maybe I can set up a schedule. So if they want VTubing, these are the days that I VTube. And then like they want face cam, those are the other days that I face cam. Maybe that would work. Like, I only just thought about it now, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll try that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having an identity crisis. And then on top of it, I have, like, so many different models that, like, they come in, they're like, whoa, why are you a chibi?
Why do you look different?
I know, it's like, what happened to you? Stop changing, stop morphing, oh my god.
Did you ever imagine that, like, shy Uni could ever do something like this?
No, I don't think so. Because, like, being a content creator or, like, a VTuber or a streamer and all that, that to me was always not out of reach, but more so, like, I never wanted to reach it. Because, like, when I was cosplaying, like, there were times when I thought, I could make a career out of this, as in like make money out of it instead of spend money on my costumes. Because like I don't know. I never like thought that I would. I don't know what stopped me other than the fact that I just thought it wasn't for me until I actually started to do content creating. And like with the whole streaming, it was very different from what I imagined. It's hard to answer that because it's like, what did I even want to do, you know, when I first started streaming, other than the whole passive income, or like when I started VTubing, like what was I trying to get out of it? And for me, it was just like, I liked it, so I did it. It was like, I liked cosplay, so I did it. And even like making money on Twitch, it was more just like, hey, I see other people do it. Hey, if they can do it, I want to do it. Like that was the whole like with the subs, or like, you know, anything like with donation goals and all that. So I never really thought I would like get to where I am, being like partnered on Twitch and on YouTube, and just continues to play games and make content out of that. Like I honestly think though, if I actually had it planned properly, like say, yeah, I want to be famous and I want to get partnered and I want to like meet all the celebrities, I wouldn't have done what I've done. I think it would have been very business-like. It would be like, okay, this is my business plan, I'm gonna do this and do that.
Yeah.
But when I started both cosplaying and I think also with like, you know, Twitch, it was more just to meet people, because like I didn't want actually, you know what, there was something. I was doing 9 to 5, then I'll play games so like after work, and then I'll go sleep, rinse and repeat, and I'm like, I'm gonna go insane like this. And so I needed to socialize, and then playing games was like, yeah, I can socialize, but like I said before, I'm really shy when it comes to talking to people. So even though they're my friends and we're on Discord call, I usually don't talk. And so all my train of thought is still in my head. And I'm like, I need an outlet for this. I need an outlet for this ADHD brain. It's going insane in there. And so Twitch came along, and then I was able to like chat with people when they type to me. So I can read at my own pace, respond at my own pace. And I was like, whoa, this is awesome. So I think like, thinking about it, it was always like, Twitch or streaming or content creation is a great way for me to express who I am. And back then I would have never thought that, because I still tell this to like my community and my friends. When I first thought about Twitch, I'm like, ew, why would people want to watch Twitch? It's like Big Brother, when like, you know, people are peering into your life 24/7. Like, why would you want to do that? If you want to watch something, just go on like Netflix or YouTube or something. Like, go for something that's scripted. Like, why would you go for something that's not scripted? But then starting to do Twitch and then watching Twitch streams, it's a different community, and it's really nice, because then you don't have to watch things that are scripted. Everything is unscripted, but it's fun, and it feels like you're talking to a friend. It feels like you're socializing without having to drain your social batteries. So for the shy Yuni back in the past, never. I would have never thought I would do this. I would probably read about it, you know, go on Reddit and read about all these streamers and the things that they do and all that. But then that's like the only thing I would think about, you know, streaming. But now that I'm actually doing it, I'm like, wow, I don't think I would want to stop. Even though I take like long breaks, I don't think I would stop, because I like creating content.
And you can just do it at your own pace around everything else that happens with life, as it is when it's older and this is just a hobby.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus VTubing model, like as long as I sound young, I could be like in my 80s.
put it on. Yeah.
How cool is that? Or if I want to be, I could be like a Giga Chad daddy and have like a buff, like, you know, male model.
The big bar model, just like muscles bulging everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be whatever you dream of.
100%. That's right.
Yeah. Well, Uni, because it is Oztober as well, and I've been focusing a lot of Australian creators this October, it's very funny because it's playing up again. I figured we should highlight and give a big shout out to Australian internet for...
Welcome to Australia. Here we have 140p video.
we've got scuffed Uni over there, but the audio's come through. Yeah, it's all good. God, we really try over here. Like, They wouldn't understand. The rest of the world can't understand the struggles of Australian internet.
Technically, we don't even exist. So like,
Yeah.
for anyone to be able to hear us and see us, that's already like pretty epic.
Yeah. The VTuber models are actually just like a disguise that we're like puppets, actually.
Oh, gee.
we don't actually exist as Australians, but like we play up the persona that there is in Australia. You know, that's the whole point.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
The drop bears are real.
The drop bears are real, and they are terrifying.
Oh, yes.
Well, Uni, I really appreciate you coming on to Behind the Model and sharing a bit of your story. In all 140p of yourself at times, but it definitely got the unadulterated audio, and I think the scuff is just adds to the characters. But thank you so much for sharing your story and for all the time you've given me.
Thank you for having me. I can see my neck going lower and lower. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for having me here in my glorious 140p. I hope you guys enjoyed. And for those that want to start VTubing, just do it. Literally, just do it. You don't have no legs, no worries. Nobody gonna look at your legs. Just do it.
And even if you could only put 4 pixels on a screen at once, apparently.
Do it. So remember, it's not a bug, it's a feature.
Yep. Yuni is the latest guest on my series Behind the Model, diving into the stars who make VTubing the creative medium we love. If you're interested in more of Yuni's story, you can read the accompanying article linked in the description. You can also find all of her social media channels below. If you're interested in more Australian VTuber stories, please make sure to subscribe and stick around for the rest of Oztober. If you enjoyed this one specifically, I'd appreciate it if you left a like down there in the description. Until next time, thank you.